Let me be brutally honest with you. I used to be that guy who chased every investment trend. Crypto, I was there. Meme stocks, guilty. Day trading options, lost my shirt twice. I'd make money, make it back, lose it again. The endless cycle of financial FOMO keeps 90% of Americans broke despite working their entire lives. Then I discovered something that changed everything. Assets that you never sell. Not when they're up 50%. Not when they crash 30%. Not when your brother-in-law tells you about the next Bitcoin. Not even when the financial media screams, "Sell everything," at the top of their lungs. Today I own 7 of these wealth weapons. 7 assets that work while I sleep, pay me while others panic, and build a legacy while I live my life. And I'll never let them go. Not during the next crash. Not during the next bubble. Not even if someone offered me double what they're worth today. Why? Because I finally learned the difference between trading and building wealth. Trading makes brokers rich. Holding makes you rich. If you want real wealth, the kind that lasts generations, the kind that survives market crashes and economic disasters, stop flipping assets and start holding them. Here's your challenge. Watch this video till the end. Because if you miss asset number 7, you could waste the next decade chasing fool's gold, while the real treasure sits right in front of you. And at the end, I'll show you exactly how to build all 7 of these into a portfolio that works whether you're 25 or 65, whether you have $1,000 or $100,000 to start. Ready? Let's build some generational wealth. Asset number 1 might surprise you because most people sell it at exactly the wrong time. Asset number 1, real estate, the never-sleep cash machine. Here's a mistake that still haunts me. 3 years ago, I sold a duplex for a quick $80,000 profit. Thought I was Warren Buffett. Felt so smart walking away with that check. That same property today, worth $180,000 more than I sold it for. Plus, someone else is collecting $3,200 monthly rent that used to hit my account like clockwork. Biggest financial regret of my life. Never again. That's why today, real estate isn't just property to me. It's a cash printing machine that works while you sleep, appreciates while you live, and builds legacy while you exist. This isn't about flipping houses or being on HGTV. This is about buying assets that pay you forever. Here's why I'll never sell my real estate again. First, the triple income stream. You get rent every month, appreciation over time, and massive tax write-offs that legally shelter your other income. It's like having 3 jobs that you never have to show up for. Second, it's an inflation fighter. When everything costs more, guess what? So does rent. Your income automatically adjusts with the economy. Third, leverage magic. Banks will let you buy a $500,000 property with just $100,000 down. Try getting that kind of leverage on stocks. Fourth, it's a tax fortress. Depreciation lets you claim losses on paper while making money in reality. The IRS literally pays you to own real estate. Finally, it's legacy gold. Pass it down to your kids, and they avoid capital gains taxes completely. Generational wealth, legally protected. Let me hit you with the numbers. My rental portfolio generated $47,000 last year in pure cash flow. I worked exactly 0 hours for that money. 0 phone calls, 0 commutes, 0 boss meetings. My properties appreciate an average of 4% annually while paying me monthly. Try getting that return from your savings account. Here's what people don't understand. I can't control whether Apple's stock goes up or down tomorrow. I can't control if the market crashes next month. But I can control my real estate. I choose the property, I set the rent, I pick the tenants, I manage the improvements. That's real power. That's why it stays in my portfolio forever. But here's the thing about real estate. It's just one piece of the puzzle. Asset number 2, blue chip stocks. The boring billionaire secret. Everyone's chasing the next Tesla, the next Nvidia, the next crypto moonshot. Meanwhile, my boring blue chip stocks just quietly made me more money than all my exciting trades combined. Last year, while my friends lost their shirts on meme stocks and NFTs, my McDonald's shares paid me dividends and went up 12%. Coca-Cola has been in my portfolio for 8 years. Never sold a single share. Know what it's done? Paid me increasing dividends every single year and doubled in value. These aren't just stocks. Apple, Microsoft, Visa, Procter & Gamble, Walmart, Berkshire Hathaway, Johnson & Johnson. These companies don't just make money, they are money. They're the financial backbone of America, and I own pieces of all of them forever. Here's why these giants are untouchable. First, they have monopoly moats. When you think of burgers, you think of McDonald's. When you think of soda, you think of Coca-Cola. When you think of credit cards, you think of Visa. That's not branding. That's economic domination that competitors can't breach. Second, they're dividend aristocrats. These companies have increased their payouts for 25+ consecutive years. Through recessions, through crashes, through pandemics, they keep paying shareholders like clockwork. Third, they're crisis survivors. They've outlived wars, financial meltdowns, technology disruptions, and social upheavals. While startups die, these giants adapt and thrive. Fourth, they own global habits. People worldwide brush their teeth with P&G products, drink Coca-Cola, use Microsoft software, and pay with Visa cards. These aren't American companies anymore, they're human habit companies. Here's what changed my mind about blue chips. During the 2022 market crash, when growth stocks lost 60 to 80%, my blue chip portfolio only dropped 12%. But here's the kicker. They never stopped paying dividends. While everyone else was panicking, I was collecting checks. Boring beats brilliant every single time. My strategy is simple. I don't buy blue chips to sell them. I buy them to collect checks from them for life. These are my forever stocks, my financial royalty payments, my stake in the companies that run the world. These blue chips are my stability foundation, but for explosive growth potential. Asset number 3, AI stocks, the future you can own today. Confession time. I missed the internet boom in the 90s. I was too young, too broke, too stupid to understand what was happening. Watched Microsoft and Amazon go from $50 to $500 while I bought baseball cards. But AI, this is my second chance. And this time, I'm not missing the rocket ship. Here's what changed everything for me. In 2023, I watched ChatGPT get 100 million users in 2 months. Took Facebook 4.5 years to hit that number. I realized this wasn't just another tech trend. This was the electricity moment, the internet moment, the smartphone moment, all rolled into one. My AI arsenal, NVIDIA, Microsoft, Google, Taiwan Semiconductor, and advanced micro devices. Plus select AI ETFs like Robo, RQ, and bots. These aren't just stocks, they're ownership stakes in the future of human productivity. Here's why this is different from every other hype cycle. First, it's an infrastructure play. Unlike crypto promises, AI companies have real revenue, real products, and real profits today. NVIDIA's data center revenue hit $47 billion last year. That's not speculation, that's cash flow. Second, we're in the first inning of a 20-year game. This is 1995 internet all over again. The companies building AI infrastructure today will be the Googles and Amazons of tomorrow. Third, it creates a productivity explosion. Companies using AI are scaling 10x faster than competitors. It's not just better technology, it's an entirely new way of doing business. Fourth, everything is integrated. AI isn't just chatbots. It's in cars, medicine, manufacturing, finance, warfare, and entertainment. Every industry will be rebuilt around artificial intelligence. Now here's my warning, and this is crucial. I don't bet the farm on AI stocks. They're volatile as hell. NVIDIA can drop 20% in a week for no reason. But I'm not missing the harvest either. I keep 10 to 15% of my portfolio in AI, no more, no less. My philosophy is simple. These aren't trades, they're tickets to the future. And I'm holding those tickets until that future arrives. Because when AI fully transforms the world, I want to own the companies that made it happen. Speaking of owning the future, there's one asset that's even more powerful than AI stocks. Asset number 4, your skills and brand, the money printing machine. They can't crash. Plot twist. The best investment I ever made wasn't a stock, wasn't real estate, wasn't crypto. It was learning how to sell. Spent $3,000 on a sales course 5 years ago. That one skill has generated over $400,000 in additional income since then. ROI of 13,000%. Warren Buffett wishes he could find returns like that. Here's the kicker. It's the only asset that gets stronger during crashes. 2008 financial meltdown, skilled people kept their jobs. 2020 pandemic, people with valuable skills pivoted and thrived. 2022 tech layoffs, companies fired the mediocre, kept the irreplaceable. Your skills, your reputation, your network, your expertise, this is the invisible asset that prints money in every economy. It's the one investment that can't be hacked, can't be stolen, can't crash to zero, and compounds forever. Here's why your skills are unbeatable. First, they're recession-proof. Markets crash, currencies collapse, but skills don't lose value. If anything, they become more valuable when everything else fails. Second, they offer infinite ROI. One skill can 10x your income permanently. Learn to code, multiply your salary, master sales, unlock unlimited earning potential. Third, they compound forever. The more you know, the faster you learn new things. Knowledge builds on knowledge. Skills stack on skills. Fourth, they have zero correlation to markets. Your expertise doesn't follow the S&P 500. While everyone else's portfolios go up and down, your earning power only goes up. The skills that actually pay: sales, marketing, coding, public speaking, writing, and leadership. Pick one. Master it completely. Watch your income explode while your friends chase stock tips. Here's what most people miss. They invest in assets they can't control: stocks, crypto, bonds. But your skills? You control everything. How hard you study, how much you practice, how fast you improve. No company can take that away from you. My challenge to you: comment below what one skill has changed your life the most. If your answer is none yet, start today. Because while stocks make you rich, skills make you wealthy. And there's a huge difference. But skills are just the beginning. Next up is an asset that gives you real estate profits without the landlord headaches. Asset number 5, digital real estate, REITs. Real estate without the headaches. I love real estate, but I hate late-night calls about broken toilets. Last month, my tenant called me at 2 a.m. because the garbage disposal was making noise. Cost me $200 to fix and a full night's sleep. That's when I remembered why I discovered REITs. All the profits of real estate ownership, none of the property management nightmares. REITs are like having a team of real estate professionals manage your portfolio while you sleep. VNQ, SCH, RDWR, IYR, ORAN, these aren't just stock symbols. They're your tickets to owning shopping malls, hospitals, data centers, apartment complexes, and cell phone towers without ever leaving your couch. Here's why REITs are pure genius. First, mandatory payouts. By law, they must distribute 90% of their profits to shareholders. No choice, no games, no excuses. It's like having rental income without owning rental property. Second, professional management. Instead of me dealing with tenants, repairs, and vacancies, teams of experts handle everything while I collect checks. Third, instant diversification. One REIT purchase gives me ownership in hundreds of properties across multiple states. Try doing that with physical real estate on a $10,000 budget. Fourth, high liquidity. Need cash? Sell your REIT shares in seconds. Try selling a house that fast. Fifth, access to premium properties. Through REITs, I own pieces of Manhattan skyscrapers, California shopping centers, and Texas data centers that I could never afford individually. I'm basically a commercial real estate mogul with a $50,000 investment. Here's the math that matters. My REIT portfolio yields 4.2% annually in dividends alone. My physical properties yield 8 to 9%, but REITs require zero work, zero stress, 2 a.m. phone calls. That's the convenience tax I'm happy to pay. The beautiful part? These aren't just dividend payments. They're growing. Quality REITs increase their payouts annually as rents rise and properties appreciate. It's like having rental properties that manage themselves and automatically raise the rent. My strategy is simple. REITs give me real estate exposure without becoming a landlord. I get the wealth-building power of property ownership with the simplicity of stock ownership. Now, while REITs protect me from tenant headaches, my next asset protects me from economic catastrophes. Asset number 6, precious metals. The crisis insurance that never expires. 2008 financial crisis, 2020 pandemic, 2022 inflation surge. Know what held its value through all three disasters? Gold. While my tech stocks crashed 50%, while my crypto portfolio imploded, while my dollar lost purchasing power, gold just quietly did what it's done for 5,000 years. Preserve wealth when everything else fails. I learned this lesson the hard way during the March 2020 crash. My stock portfolio dropped 35% in 3 weeks. I was panicking, losing sleep, and checking my phone every 5 minutes. But my gold position barely moved. Actually went up while everything else burned. That's when I realized precious metals aren't about getting rich quick, they're about staying rich forever. Physical gold, silver bars, platinum coins, plus ETFs like GLD, SLV, IAU, PDBC. This isn't speculation. This is 5,000-year insurance that never expires, never defaults, never declares bankruptcy. Here's why precious metals are essential portfolio insurance. First, they have humanity's longest track record. Gold has outlived every currency, every empire, every economic system in human history. The dollar is 50 years old. Gold is eternal. Second, they're inflation destroyers. When governments print money, currencies lose value, but metals gain value. It's mathematical. More dollars chasing the same amount of gold equals higher gold prices. Third, they're crisis insurance. During uncertainty, investors flee to safety. That safety is gold and silver. Fourth, zero counterparty risk. My gold doesn't depend on any company staying solvent, any government keeping promises, any bank staying open. It exists independent of the financial system. Fifth, they're portfolio stabilizers. When stocks zig, metals often zag. Perfect diversification. Here's my allocation strategy. 5 to 10% of my total portfolio in precious metals. Not enough to make me rich if gold explodes, but enough to protect me if everything else implodes. Think of it as financial insurance. You don't buy it hoping to use it, but you're damn glad it's there when you need it. The truth nobody talks about. Every major fortune in history has been partially protected by precious metals, not because they're the best investment, but because they're the most reliable insurance. My rule is simple. When paper burns, metal endures. That's why I'll never sell my gold. It's not an investment, it's survival. But insurance is just protection. For real global growth, you need worldwide exposure. Asset number 7, international ETFs, the global growth insurance policy. Here's what Americans don't realize, and it cost me money for years. We're only 4% of the world's population, but act like we're 100% of investment opportunity. I used to be that guy. 90% of my portfolio in US stocks, thinking America was the only game worth playing. Then 2022 happened. My all-American portfolio dropped 18% while international markets outperformed. That wake-up call changed everything. Meanwhile, the fastest-growing economies, the youngest populations, the biggest infrastructure builds, they're all happening outside America. China is building entire cities. India's going digital. Southeast Asia is exploding with middle-class growth. And I was missing all of it. VEA for developed markets, VWO for emerging markets, VT for total world exposure, EIFA for Europe, IXAS for international. These aren't just ticker symbols. They're my stakes in humanity's global growth story. Here's why going global is genius. First, demographics are destiny. While America ages, countries like India, Indonesia, and Nigeria have massive young populations entering their earning years. More workers, more consumers, more growth. Second, it's currency hedging. When the dollar weakens, foreign assets strengthen. Perfect balance. Third, it's true diversification. Don't put all your eggs in the American basket, no matter how great that basket looks. Fourth, growth markets are where the action is. China's middle class is bigger than America's entire population. India's tech sector is exploding. You can't ignore 96% of the world and expect maximum returns. Fifth, valuation opportunities. While American stocks trade at premium prices, international markets often trade at discounts. Same companies, same profits, lower prices. Here's the reality that changed my mind. My international ETFs outperformed the S&P 500 3 of the last 5 years. VWO returned 22% in 2021, while the S&P returned 18%. IEFA crushed US markets in 2017 and 2019. My allocation, 25 to 30% of my portfolio, goes global. Because wealth doesn't recognize borders, and neither should I. While other Americans fight over the same domestic companies, I'm collecting dividends from Samsung, ASML, Taiwan Semiconductor, and Nestlé. The world is bigger than Wall Street. My portfolio reflects that reality. That's why international exposure stays forever, because the future is global, and I refuse to be left behind. And that's your blueprint. 7 assets, 7 wealth weapons that work while you sleep and pay you while others panic. The question isn't which one to pick, it's how fast you can start building all 7. Let's run it back. 7 assets, 7 wealth weapons that work whether you're awake or asleep, whether markets are up or down, whether the economy is booming or crashing. Real estate, cash flow plus appreciation plus tax magic equals unstoppable wealth. Blue chip stocks, the boring giants that survive everything and pay you forever. AI stocks, your ticket to the productivity revolution that's reshaping humanity. Your skills and brand, the only asset that gets stronger during disasters. REITs, real estate profits without landlord problems. Precious metals, 5,000-year insurance that never expires. International ETFs, your stake in global growth while others fight over American scraps. Notice something? They all work without you staring at screens 24/7. They all grow while you sleep. They all reward patience over panic. This is how real wealth gets built. Not through day trading, not through crypto gambling, not through get-rich-quick schemes. Here's the mindset shift that separates winners from losers. Poor people ask, what should I buy next? Rich people ask, what should I never sell? The secret isn't finding more investments, it's developing more conviction. So here's your new plan. Stop flipping. Start holding. Stop chasing trends. Start building a foundation. Stop trying to time markets. Start using time in markets. Because the goal isn't to get rich fast. Anybody can do that and lose it all. The goal is to get rich for life. Your homework starts now. Pick one of these 7 assets and commit to it this month. Don't wait for perfect timing, perfect knowledge, or perfect conditions. Rich people build wealth with imperfect information and perfect discipline. Tell me in the comments, which of these 7 do you already own? Which one will you start building this year? And if this video just changed how you think about investing, smash that like button. Share it with someone who's still chasing quick profits instead of building lasting wealth. Subscribe because we're not here for hype. We're here to build generational wealth with boring strategies that actually work. No noise, no gambling, just results that compound for decades. Remember this, every millionaire had to choose between looking rich today or becoming rich tomorrow. Which choice are you making?